All right, happy mining day, everybody. It's mining day at the Alaska State Fair. We are going to do a live demo of the Mini Max, our brand new portable mineral jig. In approximately 3 minutes, we're going to get started at 2 o'clock. Live demo of a portable mineral jig. We're the only people in the world that make them, and this one is called the Mini Max. It's our newest model. All right, I am late. It's 2 minutes after 2. I said we were going to start at 2. We are going to get started right now. Okay. Well, once again, happy mining day. It is the one day of the fair that is dedicated to celebrating mining in Alaska, and that is all kinds of mining. We are Riverdance Gold Mining, and we manufacture the only truly portable mineral jig anywhere in the world. This is a simplex mini jig in front of me. It has one hutch, and it is the simplest, smallest, most portable machine that we offer. It weighs 12.5 pounds. You can lift it up with a finger. It operates off a 12-volt battery, which with lithium technology are very lightweight and powerful these days, or AC power. You can plug it right into your house. And we have multiple screen sizes. So you can use this to run riverbank material, beach material, or you can use it to run your fine cons that you've already processed through a sluice box or something. And so it's a little bit for everybody. I'm going to go ahead and start running this material I have on the table here. And I'm using a 30 mesh roughing screen just so you can see what happens when you take unscreened material from the riverbank or digging just straight down. There's big rocks in here. There's fine black sand, there's a little bit of everything, and that's what this 30 mesh screen is for. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn the water on. These are so simple to use. If you can hook up a hose, if you can connect a battery or plug in an adapter to the wall, you can make this thing go. All that's happening right now is water is filling up this hutch, and it is overflowing out the front as soon as it gets to the top. Okay, there we go. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to select AC power since I have this plugged into the wall. Okay, now that the motor is running and the jigging action has begun, I'm going to start feeding material in. And with this simplex jig, I'm going to feed it a little slower than I would into our duplex jig. I don't have to go real slow, but I'm going to go a little bit slower. Again, this has every type of material. This is not screened. This is, larger rocks, smaller rocks, black sand, dirt. This is just a mixture of just about anything you might run into. And as you put a scoop in, each scoop, the heaviest material within the scoop, will push the lighter material out. There's very little water flow happening. Water is not actually moving the material much. It's mostly just aiding the suspension of the material as the jigging action happens and washing it. And then the material itself is pushing the other material along. And as I feed material in, and the heavies are displacing the lights, you'll see some of the larger rocks are making their way to the front. The lightest or the heaviest material that's small enough to go through the screen is going down through the body of the jig and down into this concentrates bucket below. And again, this is a large screen. This is a 30 mesh screen, so more material is going to get through, and we're going to redo those concentrates here in a minute with 60 mesh, a finer screen, so you can see how much you can eliminate of the excess material, or what happens when you've already run your material through a sluice box and you want to just refine your cons. Pretty forgiving. As long as the material is still moving, you can keep going, but you don't want to go so fast that material is leaving the front of the machine without getting submerged in the water. And you'll see a difference when I do a demo of the two-stage or the duplex jig later. I'll be putting full scoops in at about the same speed. With this Mini Max, I'm a little impatient, so I just use smaller scoops so I don't overdo it. And I feed the material into the rear most part of the jig to give it the most opportunity to get down into the water. And we just let it sit and clean out a little bit. Once you're done, as this material's going on, there's still small particles trying to get through that screen, so we don't want to rush it. It saves us work during the cleanup process if those the smaller heavies can get through the screen. All the gold is going to be trapped either in this concentrates bucket or on this screen, and the lighter material, everything that's on top of the jig shot, this steel shot, and I'm sorry I didn't show everybody this, but there's a layer of steel shot, 2 or 3 layers actually, sitting right on top of the screen in this tray. It's heavier than all the gravel in there, but it's not as heavy as the gold. So the gold's going to be below this, and the gravel will be on top. So anything that's sitting on top, I can just scoot out. Gold that's fine enough to get through the screen will be going down into the cons bucket. Everything that's too big to go through the screen will be trapped on that screen, and we'll see that here in a minute. Okay? So after you let it run for a minute or two and the water's clean, if you're recirculating the water, if it's river water, you're going to have clean water the whole time, but then you can turn your water off and stop the jigging action and begin your clean out, which is very, very simple. So as soon as the water goes down below the tray level, you can take these 4 wing nuts off to remove your tray. And we're going to look at this oversized fraction first. Any gold that, again, that's too big to get through that screen is going to be trapped in this tray. And then we'll look where I'm going to rerun the cons through a smaller screen so you can see what the effect is, how much material you'd have left if we'd started with that smaller screen, or what happens if you have a 2-stage system. We sell single stage and dual stage machines. This is our smallest, lightest, most affordable machine. Does everything everyone else does, AC, DC power, and it's super easy to operate and clean out. Okay, I like to dump out first into a bucket so I can see what I have. I'm going to separate the jig shot out, but I dump it out first, and then I look in here and look at all the flakes of gold that are stuck in here. This is all your oversized. There's quite a bit. Anybody want to see the gold that it trapped on the screen there? See the little pieces of gold? They're shining in the sun. Okay, I'm gonna, they get kind of shiny if the sun gets on them. Now I'm gonna hand this off to my brother to do the clean out over into a bucket, and he will take this. Yep, there's plenty of gold there. Most of it's right here in the back where I dumped it in. It didn't even have a chance to go out. Then he's going to clean this out, get the jig shot out of it, and you'll see how much of the oversized fraction there is, and you'll never have more than that to clean out. It's just a little bit. Now, instead of cleaning out the cons, I'm going to put a smaller screen on, and I'm going to run the concentrates again so you can see what the effect is of the smaller screen. It's super fast and easy to clean out. And if you have fingers that don't like little nuts and bolts, then just use a clamp, a quick clamp. Those things you can get at Home Depot. We'll snug these down, 1 on each side is plenty, and makes it even faster to clean out. But it's not as pretty as the silver bolts and wing nuts. Okay, so now I have the new screen on there. It was that quick. I'm going to put some jig shot in there. So right on top of this screen, I just set this 1/4-inch steel jig shot. And I'm going to use a little less jig shot. That's a pro tip right there. When you're running concentrates, you don't need as much jig shot. And whether you're starting out or cleaning out, hooking up a hose and then hooking up your battery or your AC power source, this machine will operate on both. I just ran it off well power. I'm going to disconnect that now, switch it to DC power, and run it off a battery. And this is a lithium battery, 20 amp hour lithium ion battery that will run this thing for hours and hours, 8 or 9 hours, which is longer than you're probably going to want to be shoveling, so plenty. There's a 10-foot lead for your alligator clips, so plenty of room. You can keep your battery far away if you want to. And same thing, I'll start it. It works. I'm gonna hook the water back on. We'll just wait for the water to start overflowing and then we'll start it back up. All right, so now we're overflowing. We are ready to rock and roll. Dump some of this water out. All right, let's get her started. Before we start, look at all the black sand in there. That's from the 30 mesh screen. There's a lot of black sand in this. So this is just like you'd have concentrates from your sluice box or from some other type of equipment. This is but we're going to cut a lot of that out so you don't have to pan as much out or run material across your miller table, whatever you got. Gold wheel, blue bowl. If you are running this through some other finishing machine, finishing sluice, or a blue bowl or gold wheel, you have to spoon feed it in there. You will not be able to scoop it in this fast. But I do, because I know this machine will handle it. I'm going to get a little bit of this water. Sorry, I'm splashing in there. So we're going to let that clean out for a second. The more material that this will expel, this can expel, the less work you have to do. And then we'll see what our cons are down here compared to what we started with. And I have an even smaller screen that we could run this through as well. But we'll just give this a minute. Once you stop seeing material come out, then you can pretty much, you're not saving yourself any work after that. There's the first bit. That was the oversize, what was trapped in the tray. You're going to hit the off button there. Go ahead. All right. Same process. We're going to let the water level drop down, then take this tray off. You guys want to see some gold? We just did one clean out and got quite a bit, and now we're going to clean out this the second run with the smaller screen. With the oversized material like that, the plus 30, it really cleans it out good. You don't have much to pan out, and it'll never be more than that. No matter how many buckets you run through there, it's limited. The oversized fraction is limited by the size of this tray, and then you're going to remove the jig shot, which means even less. All right. Now this one, sometimes because this is super fine gold, it might be harder to see. We're going to probably have to pan this one to see the gold in there. Sometimes you can see a glob of it. There's a little bit right there. Now our superfines, our minus 60, is right here. There's about half of what there was, and then that's more of that is black sand now. And then we have a 100 mesh screen that you could run it through as well. But each stage cuts down at least 50%. Usually more. The first stage is going to cut out way more than 50%, and the 100 mesh screen would cut that down by probably 500%.